No, now we're recording. Okay. All right. Welcome back to the Kohler Show. This is episode 18 or 19, depending on the space-time continuum and when things are released. I'm here with a good friend of mine, Jeff Rogers. I don't know how to really introduce you as far as what you do, like relationship counseling. Is that correct?
No, that's not
No?
correct. No, to tell you the truth, I do a lot of work in the business community. So I own a coaching company and a corporate consulting company, and I work with people on how to get their vision straight. If I'm working with companies, I work with them on how to get their culture in line, and then how to implement that into their vision, how to get all their people in alignment. So I work
Talk more into the mic there. Yeah, there you go.
I work with a lot of communication, stuff like that. Through that, I also do coaching.
Okay.
And one of the things that I do as a result of coaching is I do work with relationships. So a lot of times,
I knew there was a relationship.
there is a
thing
relationship
in
component,
there.
and I think you're familiar with that because I've been here in Austin doing quite a bit of that work lately. And
Yeah.
it has, I think, probably just based on the way the world is going right now, relationships are struggling a lot. It seems to be.
I agree.
And so it just seems to be an area where people need to work right now. So that's really where I'm at and doing a lot of that stuff now. So.
Okay. Doing what specifically?
So, I've been married for almost 30 years now.
Okay.
Same person.
Yeah. Lovely lady.
Great lady, Tina.
Yeah.
And we had our struggles.
Okay.
Going through time. As you know, I've been working in the personal growth field for about 30 years as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I started that process as we started getting together. And so I've been working with human behavior and how to create bigger results for a long time. And one of the things that I had to do was I had to figure out how to navigate my relationship. Part of that process was having breakdown in our relationship when we in the earlier years. And at year 16, specifically, I'll never forget that year, I was literally holding divorce papers in my hand.
When I was 16?
When I was, my 16th year.
Oh, your 16th year.
Year 16
Okay.
of my marriage, I was holding divorce papers in my hand.
Okay.
And getting ready to sign them. And I was laying in bed 3 o'clock in the morning one night, and it just hit me that, really what was going on was communication for me. And I didn't really care if she liked it or agreed with it or anything like that. I just needed to be heard. I don't know if anyone can relate to that. You just want to be heard.
Yeah.
And part of that is I'd been through, the thing that was really frustrating is I've been through probably 5 or 6 counselors, marriage counselors. And it just never really stuck. And I couldn't figure out why.
Okay.
But I started figuring out some things, and I developed some really killer communication techniques. And I started applying them to my own marriage, and things got better. And as a result, I've been married for almost 30 years now. And we have a great relationship now. Things are awesome. Our kids are all grown. We have a grandson. We do that stuff. And so I take my knowledge of behavior and communication and working with people to create success in other areas. And, of course, my own personal history with relationship and marriage and how to solve those problems, combine those into a product that helps people who have gone through the same experience I have. They've been to counselors. They've been through all this crap. They've been to all this stuff that just doesn't provide solutions. It doesn't give solutions. It doesn't provide enough time. It's in a medical environment. I mean, who wants to take your relationship into a medical environment? I mean, it's senseless to me.
Yeah, like a therapist, you mean, by medical environment.
Yeah, and people will even say that, like, okay, we're going to have our session, and we're going to, like they equate. And first thing we got to get straight is I'm not a counselor, I'm not a therapist.
Yeah.
That's not what I do.
Yeah. I also think therapists are kind of bullshit. Not all therapists,
Right,
but like
The
there's
process is kind of weird.
well, yeah, there's a big push now with like these like quick therapists, like apps now, is like where you just
Plug your problem.
you just put your problem in, they give you like a therapist, and the therapist like calls you or messages you or whatever.
Okay. Teletherapy.
Kind of. It's just like it's like everything now, how everything's just an app, and like you can just like solve all your problems with this fucking app.
AI is going to fix your marriage.
Yeah, right. And like I don't get me wrong, I think therapy can help if you have
But think
some
about
kind.
it. I mean, like even the word therapy.
Yeah,
Who wants to be in therapy?
yeah, nobody does.
Nobody does.
But like I've dated girls who were like, well, my therapist said, and I'm like, so you just went to a lady and she just confirmed everything you just said to her as correct, and now you're gonna say that's what's correct.
Right.
Like that's what my big thing with therapy is like I don't know if it's actually like conducive or if it's just two retards in a room saying that each other is right.
And you're either going to buy it or you're not going to
Yeah.
buy it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah,
And
keep in mind what I'm working with is I'm working with the human mindset. So conscious and unconscious beliefs, things that are that have been in the way with most of our results.
Mm-hmm.
I work with people on how, one of my theories is we were raised in different cultures. So this person over here,
Because she's ginger and Irish, probably.
My wife?
Yeah. So
Tina's half British and half Italian.
oh,
Okay.
so big drinker, probably abusive.
My wife?
Yeah. No.
No, I probably drink more than she does.
Oh, okay. All right.
But no, it was the idea is that when we grow up and we learn how to love in one environment, and that other person, it's almost like being on two different continents and two different cultures, and then we get together and we just unconsciously assume that all of that stuff's going to blend together and everything's going to work. Hell, I don't even think we think about it. We just get married because we're attracted, and the next thing you know, we've got all these conflicts.
Yeah.
And so I help people bridge those conflicts and put the culture that belongs in their relationship.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. All right. So if you're starting with me, 'cause this is my show, where would we start? We're at ground zero.
As far as relationship is concerned,
Yeah.
I guess the first question I'd ask is, what do you want?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you mean when you say what do I want? There's a lot of things I want.
Okay, yeah, but we're talking specifically relationship?
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're going specific relationship, what do you want in a relationship?
I mean, I have very low standards. So so not like that. I mean, not everyone's a winner. You can't enjoy a sunny day without a few rainy ones.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, like, just somebody that isn't a bitch. And I'm sorry, I'm trying to buy time while I work this out in my brain. I like
That leaves a lot.
yeah.
open.
Well, it's just like I don't like, and I'm at the age now, 29, where I'm like seeing a lot of my friends get married or like at least in serious relationships where they're living with the people, and like most of what I hear is like they don't even really like each other. Not saying all.
It's
But
almost
not saying
like
all.
they're going through the motions.
Yeah, it's like I'm 30, I need to get married now, or like I'm gonna die
Right.
alone. And it's like, and I've never really thought like that. And there's a lot of this like, oh, he's Mr. Right and she's Mrs. Always Right. And I just think that's like the dumbest way to go about like a long-term relationship, to just be like, sorry, she says that I can't do that, so I can't.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, like
Don't buy into that theory, by the way.
yeah, like
I don't even coach that theory.
there's this thing that's like, I was just on the road for 4 months, 5 months, whatever, driving around. And I have all these friends who always call me and they're always like, when you're in town, dude, let's hang. All right, man, I'll be there these days. I get there. So, oh, sorry. So my girl won't let me because we have to go to the Van Gogh experience. And you're like, okay, well, I'm here for 10 days. All right, I'll call you on Tuesday. Tuesday comes. Sorry, we had to go. Her dog was sick. And it's just like, there's just like nobody with balls anymore, it feels like, when it comes to relationships, especially on the male side.
Correct.
And I think a lot of that has to do with just the way like relationships are built now through like dating apps. And
Well, what you're speaking to is not new.
yeah.
Okay. Happy wife, happy life has been a theory for a long time. Okay. And what I always interpreted that to mean is that it was my job for my wife to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as she was happy, my life would go smooth.
Yeah.
Okay. So what that says to me in my mind is she's in charge. Okay. Well, this is a cultural problem that started a long time ago when we moved from a farming culture to an industrialized culture.
Okay.
So when we moved from a farming culture to when we were in a farming culture, what happened? And by the way, this also speaks to the progression of people. Right now, we determine a man at the age of 30.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I actually saw a video that like dating just started, and like recently dating started, like in the past 100 years or so.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But when we're in this culture of farming, when you were a little boy, you went out in the field with your dad and you worked. And you formed a natural cultural relationship with your father. And in that also, there were graduations. So when you would go to a farm, it wouldn't be uncommon to see an 8-year-old kid driving a tractor.
Yeah.
Okay, or doing stuff like heavy farm equipment, doing stuff like this. Because there were times you would learn something, you would master it, you would graduate. You would learn something, you would master, you would graduate. It was a cultural ascension to becoming a man. Okay? Little girls went and did, and I know this isn't a popular conversation right now.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to, this idea of women's work, that's not what I'm saying, but there are things that, because of size, stature, physical activity, things like that, there are things that men are more predisposed to do because of genetics, and there's things that women are more predisposed to do. And those things were accepted in those cultures. That was like, duh.
Yeah.
So little girls will go do this. So now we go to an industrialized nation. We go to an industrialized culture. Dad leaves the home, goes to work. What happens to the little boy? He's now stuck with mom.
Okay.
First thing he's doing is he's forming an unnatural, intimate relationship with his mother. She becomes the boss
Mm-hmm.
of the men.
Yeah.
Okay? Dad comes home, what'd your mother say? Kid's acting up, wait till your father gets home. It's always mom is in charge. Now, men start to do it. It's easier for me to just give her way than it is to deal with all of this. Or it's all of whatever these things are, they dive in. Your friends who are telling you they can't see you because of their wives, they're using that as an excuse. Now, they may be actually in there doing that.
Yeah.
But it's my job to make my wife happy.
Yeah. No. And I like, okay.
So
okay,
you want someone who's not bitchy. You want to find someone who understands that their job to be happy is their job.
Mm.
Okay, so I don't ask my wife if I can go hunting.
Yeah.
Now, do I respect our schedule?
Yeah. I mean, you let her know.
Well, what I say, I may ask.
Shoot her a text.
Do we have anything going on this weekend?
Yeah.
Okay, I may say, so if you told me you were coming to town, I'd say, hey, do we have anything going on this weekend? No, why? Well, Kohler's coming to town. I'm going to spend some time with him. Cool, go have a great time. Hey,
Gotcha.
anything going on this weekend? No, why? I'm going hunting with my friends. Okay, great, go have a good time. So it's not me asking, it's me being respectful.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm healthy in the relationship. At the same time, I'm deciding what I'm going to do, not her. And if what she has on the calendar doesn't fit for me, I'll negotiate that.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping peace. I'm not hammering, hey, bitch, I'm going to go do
Yeah,
this.
right.
No, that's not happening.
Yeah.
But what I am doing is taking control of my own life. So I never believe in the happy wife, happy life. I don't buy into it, neither does my wife.
Good.
Yeah, so I don't coach that. I coach
Good.
to, if you want to be happy, be happy. Find your happiness. Have your life. And by the way, relationships, you ever notice people get in relationships and they just can't leave each other?
Yeah. Dependency.
Codependence.
Codependency with a lack of boundaries.
Right.
I just read a book on this.
We need our individuality.
Yeah.
You know, we got to be our own people. And I think when you say that, like, I want less of a bitch, I think you are a very independent person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always have been. And it's kind of funny because like I read books that have to do a lot with like relationships, like a lot. And like I watch these shows, like I love shitty reality TV, like dating shows. I love them. And so you'd be like, oh, Kohler probably dates mad girls. And I just don't, because it's not worth it to, well, it wasn't worth it to me in the past couple, I mean, from the age of 15 to 26, I mean, I didn't see a reason why I should be in a relationship because I mean, I was like, it was just school and then it was just work and then fun on the weekends, did whatever I want to do. And I'd see these guys that like, they're like, oh, I can't do that because, you know, whatever. And I'm like, I just don't want to be that guy. Right. And now that I've kind of accepted that, like, I don't want to be the party guy anymore. I don't want to be like the guy that's, you know, getting fucked up every weekend and alone. But like, I also don't want to be like,
I don't need a boss.
I don't need a new, yeah.
I don't need a boss.
Yeah. And I'm not,
I don't need a mom either. That position's already filled too.
Yeah. I'm not good with authority. And yeah, I don't know. I just like, it doesn't seem worth it to me to like pursue something if you don't see it to go long term, which I feel like a lot of people do. Like they'll just date somebody so that they can say that they're dating somebody, or maybe it's just like they like consistent sex. I don't know what it is, but like to me, it's not worth just dating somebody to date somebody. I'm not going to date somebody unless I think that like, okay, possibly this could go somewhere, because that's wasting both people's time.
Well, think how many
and it's
people get
exhausting
married because they got comfortable.
Exactly.
You know, did I really fall in love with this person? Is this really the one?
Yeah.
Is this really like the magic?
Yeah.
Or is this just because it got comfortable?
Yeah, exactly. And it's Yeah, that's a lot of
and
it.
then following the natural cultural progressions of relationship that she's deciding for me and doing that. Yeah, that's the pussification of America.
Yeah.
That's part of that's part of our cultural too. It's just, we've got all these things that no one can be upset anymore. No one can be bothered anymore.
Yeah, and well, like I don't want to blame feminism. I don't want to be that guy, but there's this, and you haven't been in the dating game for a while.
A long time.
But in my this is a fairly new thing.
I'm listening.
In my generation, and it's with the dating apps again. So I'm just gonna throw some statistics at you.
Yep.
So like it was Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge released this. The three of them released this, like, whatever statistics as to who swipes on right and who. And it's like dudes swipe right on 60 to 70% of females.
It's like 5.
Yeah, it's like 5%. Yeah.
So 95% of the dating males
exactly
are out of the equation altogether.
And let me tell you, I can go up to give me 3 Michelob Ultras. I can go up and talk to anybody at the bar about anything at any night, any situation, emo night, fucking sports bar, watching a game, a club. I can go. I don't have an issue, honestly, getting laid or talking to women. On a dating app, I'll get maybe, and I also don't consider myself a bad looking dude. I'm not I'm not like above and beyond. Like I hang out with these guys that are like,
I'll leave that to them.
They don't have to talk to a girl. They can just stand there and they'll get hit on. Right. I'm not that guy. I'm very self-aware about that. But on a dating app, I'm talking like 1 or 2 matches a week, which is not good statistically. So when you're dating now, you have to, like, I'll just use the last girl I was talking to for an example. You're talking to her, but then also in the back of your mind, you got to be like, this girl is talking to 2 or 3 people also, at least minimum. So you're out here trying to make plans, and I live an hour out of town. So you're trying to make plans. Hey, Saturday morning, you want to go on a hike? Yeah, I want to go on a hike. Okay, we'll go here. Like, have you seen the spot? No. Cool. Everything's set up night before. Hey, still on for tomorrow? Da, da, da. Yeah. You go to bed, you wake up the next morning, you look, check Instagram, whatever. You see she's out with whoever and at a bar, at a club. 10 o'clock a.m., you text her like, hey, still on for this hike? Oh, no, sorry, I'm not feeling well, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, well, did she just fuck a guy last night? Right. Like, did she actually, maybe she is hungover. But I'm going to tell you, it's probably 80% of the time that happens. So it makes it.
How much of this is technology?
It makes it very hard to make any kind of actual plan.
Right.
Because probably 80 to 90% of the time, it's going to get canceled no matter what you do, just because like people just will bail if there's just something immediately easier for them to do right in front of them, which they're almost 100% of the time is. Okay. So I feel like that's a huge issue with what you're talking about right now.
It's technology. Okay,
yeah.
So I didn't have to deal with this stuff when I go, but it is real in my world. It is stuff that I have to answer and I have to deal with. And so it is, the swipe left, swipe right, 60% of guys going, I don't know, left is yes, right is no, or whichever one it is, but 5%. I heard the statistic the other night, and again, it's taken 95% out, but then you add to it, now I'm going to go on my Instagram and I'm going to see this girl, and I'm going to start collecting evidence and start making up stories and all of this stuff about who she is and what she's doing. See, I would have just showed up at 10 o'clock in the morning for a hike.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I would have even called her and said, hey, are we still on? I would have showed up at her house and said, hey, and she shows up the door hungover. Okay, you're hungover. What are we doing now? Yeah. I'm here. We're doing something.
Yeah.
So.
And now that's weird. You can't do that now.
Oh, I know. And there's the whole, we're not dating. We're talking.
Yeah, that's another one.
Okay, we're talking.
I've taken girls on many, like, months worth of dates. And we're talking. And I'm like, so we're like dating. No, we're talking. Okay, well, I'm not going to talk to you anymore. Right, what are we talking about? So have fun talking to other people because I'm not going to do that.
So it's, again, I think you're dealing with technology stuff, you're dealing with cultural stuff, okay, stuff that's getting in the way. And at what point do you bust that up?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if I was dating now, I'd be looking for someone who wasn't interested in Tinder, wasn't interested in what all that stuff had to say. I'd be looking for somebody who had something different, but then I guess the question comes is how do you find that?
Yeah, that's also
Okay,
difficult.
so let's go back to old school. How did I find it?
Okay.
Okay, so how I found my wife, funny story, if you want to hear this one. She was a client of mine. I worked at a radio station in Las Vegas, Nevada. I was selling airtime. Her dad owned a swimming pool company. She was his marketing person.
Mm-hmm.
And we were in a meeting. We met. We ended up, appreciating each other. She really wanted me bad. So, we ended up, quote unquote, going out for some dinners, going out for some lunches. I think we started lunches or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And moved on. Other places I met women was, introductions from friends. So it was more of a referral.
Okay. Yeah, the referral system's the best system.
Referral. It's one thing that's never going to change is human nature.
Yeah.
So, like I talk to people about marketing because that's my own world. Sometimes we get into that conversation. And I tell them one thing that's never going to change through all the technology and all that is human nature. And human nature says we want to do business or we want to associate with people we're familiar with. So when we do that, that's why word of mouth is so strong, is because the moment Kohler says, hey, I got this guy, I instantly have a relationship with them because I have a relationship with you.
Yeah.
And that builds on it. Okay, where technology takes that out. And also technology leaves a lot up to your interpretation. So like you said, I go on Instagram and I see her with all these guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, now you're making assumptions about what she's doing with those guys. You start making stuff up.
Yeah.
So now you're painting a picture of someone based on something they posted on a profile and you weren't even there.
Mm-hmm.
So there's quite honestly a lot of judgment.
Yeah.
Okay. And stuff that's going into so I think with social media and all that stuff, you're setting yourself up to lose from the beginning.
100%.
So maybe the answer is walk away from that stuff. And maybe old school is a little bit worse.
Old school does work.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, we used to do accounting with a pencil.
Yeah.
You can still do it that way.
You can, but it's inefficient.
I wouldn't recommend it.
It's inefficient.
Yeah. So you're just trying to put together, it's almost like you're trying to computerize a relationship to me.
Yeah. And listen, that's where most of, I don't think I've ever like actually dated a girl from a dating app. Like that's what I do is mostly referral, that kind of dating. I think I just have a lower.
So back to what do you want?
Yeah. I don't put up with, the bullshit of that. Like it's that game. Yeah. It's that game of like I'm not chasing anybody down.
Right on.
What I've kind of come to the conclusion of, because I've done a lot of thinking on this topic, is what I would rather do and what I think is the better equation, but it also comes with its own issues, is like I would rather make sure like I'm set, so make sure I'm where I want to be like financially with my job, doing something I like. So then, because I feel like that was probably something that was holding me back in previous times, was my job sucked, so I was kind of a dick way more often. So I'd rather just become successful, in my own eyes first, and then become desirable that way, whether that's financially, or whatever. But I would rather be sought after than being the seekee, because I'm kind of over that, And that's not to say something just happens organically. I'm not opposed to that, but I would say I'm no longer seeking out
I think you would find
trying to get in a relationship.
I haven't seen any studies on it, but I think you would find that if you really looked at people who are married or people who have great relationships, it was when they weren't looking.
Mm-hmm.
It was when it happened. Because I think maybe when we're looking, there's this energy. Maybe we got energy on us.
Yeah.
And it's maybe there's desperation built in there and all this stuff.
Yeah.
There's showing up, and it's not showing up necessarily consciously, but it's definitely in our mind.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say to you is get clear a little bit about what you want, because there is, our mindset, how our mindset works, and there is universal stuff. And I'm not a real woo-woo guy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more into what do I got to do to create the result. But what I also know is that when I tend to put things out there and what I give my energy to, it's going to grow.
Yeah.
It's going to get better. What I also know is that when I'm clear, I'm more apt to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I believe I'll tell anybody this. Anything that you want or desire, the solutions for it are around you everywhere. Already exist. They're already there. But if we're not clear about what we want, there's no need for it. We're not going to see it. So if you pulled out of here today and you didn't need gas, you probably wouldn't see gas stations.
That's true.
Okay?
That's true.
But if you needed gas, you'd start looking for them.
Yeah.
Okay? So when we know what we want and we're clear about it, we can see it.
Got it.
So it might be standing right in front of you, and because you keep talking about what you don't want, as opposed to what you do want, maybe you're seeing more of what you don't want than what you actually want.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that.
Yeah, so
that's a good point.
Start with, what does she look like? I mean, do you like blondes, redheads? I'm a redhead guy.
Yeah, we know.
You know, I dig on redheads.
Yeah.
You know,
redheads are good.
My opinion, you just don't get it.
I don't think I have a hair color. Like
How tall?
I do in the past, I do have like a certain type, and every like one of my like girlfriends, like friends, girls that I would hang out with, like, because I've hung out with a lot of, like, I hang out with a lot of females that are just my friends. It was actually a strategy I conducted in college where I would just be friends with like a tall, hot girl that I'm like, this girl's like 6 foot, no chance. So I'll be like, be best friends with this tall, hot girl, and then just try and hook up with her friends. Yeah. And it worked. But they would always point out that I had this very specific type of like, I like smaller, like gymnastic-y type blonde girls. Okay. Usually blonde girls, but like, again, I'm not
athletic.
I do prefer athletic. Yeah.
Is that build, or is that what they actually like to do?
Yeah, I'd prefer if they were in the gym than not.
So I mean, not necessarily gymnastics.
Yeah, like, I mean, be a yoga. I don't care. Just like, don't like the girl that just like drinks constantly that's a lot to handle. Right. So yeah, usually more like peppy cheerleader type is a good way to put it. Peppy, and then they probably have like a super annoying voice. I just find girls with annoying voices. I don't know why, but that's just like, it's my type. I don't know what it's like, where I'm
so
like.
The question is there a girl without an annoying voice?
That's a good point.
I'm not saying there. No. I'm asking your. I'm not pinholing myself on this one. I'm asking you.
Are there girls without annoying voices? It's hard to say.
That's the tough one for you.
No, there are, obviously, right. But like, you know what I'm talking about. You know,
like what?
Like that cheerleader, like, you know, like nasally.
Okay, so
they're usually stupid. So
I got the physical. Okay, so my wife is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a lot of guys that are intimidated by powerful women. They don't like them. Okay, I love powerful women.
Okay.
I think they're awesome. I like women that have an opinion.
Yeah.
I like women that speak their mind. I like women that get stuff done. Okay, so I like power.
Those are good
but a lot
qualities.
Of guys don't like that. They like that, you know, and they're cute and they're pretty and, you know, they got a great ass and they're all of this stuff, but they want to talk about their shoes.
Yeah.
That crap's annoying. That's an annoying voice to me.
Yeah.
But somebody who's got something intelligent to talk about, somebody who you can hold a conversation with, somebody that's got some power.
Yeah, that's big.
That's attractive.
Yeah, not a lot of that. Not a lot of that now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay, so that's in your wheelhouse.
That's in my wheelhouse for sure.
Right on.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're narrowing it down.
I'm narrowing it down. Yeah. Like, it's there. It's just, it's hard to express. Like, that's such a broad question you asked at first.
Well, it is a broad question, but when you look at, so what do you want in a woman?
Yeah.
Now we'll narrow it down.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got blondes. We like athletic.
Yeah.
So you like a tighter body.
Yeah.
Okay, you like big boobs.
I feel like almost every female, if they weren't like obese, is somewhat attractive.
I think every woman has
like, if you're under 160 pounds, not every.
Something.
Maybe something. I don't know.
Something beautiful about every woman in the world.
Okay.
Maybe it's their eyes.
Okay,
maybe
that's
it's their teeth,
that's
maybe
fair.
Maybe it's their disposition. Maybe it's their attitude. Maybe they're a great cook.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Okay.
There's something great about all.
Yeah.
So when we approach it that way, now at least everyone's got a chance.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, it's terrible to say, I guess, but do I like heavier women? I don't.
Yeah.
But there are guys that do.
There are.
There are guys that dig on that.
Yeah.
Okay. And cool. I just believe there's something for everybody.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. And
100%.
so, those are the things that attract me. It's funny. I love great legs, but I married a shorter woman.
Yeah.
But she's got great legs.
Yeah.
So most people would say you like great legs, you like tall women because they associate it that way.
Yeah.
So, but to me, I think, and we talk, the physical. Is the physical important? Yeah, it's our first shot.
Yeah. I mean, physical is the first thing you see, obviously.
It's our first interpretation.
Yeah.
And in my opinion, if you can't take care of your physical body, you're probably having challenges with your mindset as well.
Okay. Yeah. Now, what are your thoughts on like ages? Because the only suggestion I've gotten from the females in my life is to go older, which I think is like kind of a ridiculous statement.
An old guy told me one time, older women are great because they don't yell, they don't swell, and they're grateful as hell.
Okay.
They don't yell, they don't get pregnant, and they love you for it.
Okay.
So with that, when I was younger,
Not my experience,
I
but
dated older women.
okay.
And in fact, my wife is the first younger woman I dated in a long time. In fact, the girl I dated before her, my oldest daughter's mother, was 7 years older than me. Now, why did I do that? I had my best friend in high school. His mom told us one time, sat us both down and said, "You guys are beyond your years. You're probably gonna date older women."
Yeah.
She saw it, and so I know it wasn't true for him, but it was for me. So I dated older women, and I don't think it was because I was looking for older women. I just think it was more of an intellectual fit, more that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And it just seemed to work. But I don't really think age plays into it. I think it's more lifestyle. I think it's more mindset. Yeah,
I kind of agree
you're
with
an
that.
Intelligent person. You're not. You don't want to sit around and talk about someone's wardrobe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
And I think that's one of the challenges too. Is everything's so vain now.
Mm-hmm.
All the selfies and the puffed up. What is the lips? I don't get the lips, man.
I know girls that when I first met them, they don't even look like remotely the same now.
I do too. And they
like where you like
just when I first met them. And and I just see made up
real hotties, and then like now I see them, I'm like, and don't get me wrong, like a lot of them are nice people.
Yeah.
But like you're like, what did you do to yourself? Right. You don't look like a real human.
Yeah, it's like
you look like a Bratz doll.
The big butt and the skinny waist and the big lips and the hair extensions.
Yeah.
I got hair extensions. I got I got my nose done. My lips are puffed out. I've had my teeth, all this stuff done. But I'm looking for a real man.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, there's how about these guys who can't pass a mirror without looking at themselves, or their hair's got to be just right? Or they gotta be perfect.
I kind of do that.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, break that up.
I don't know. It's just something I like to do. I like to look at myself.
I'm talking about when it goes to the extreme. Like when you're in the bathroom at the gym and the guy's in the bathroom, in the men's room with his shirt off, taking selfies in the mirror.
Okay, I don't do that.
If you're the take your shirt off and take selfies in the bathroom guy, you need a life.
Yeah.
Okay, you need some help.
Yeah. No, I don't do that.
That's not good.
Okay. I just like when I walk by the mirror, I like to
take a look,
give a little wink, wink to myself, give a little smile, maybe fix. I got a lot of hair, so I got to fix it sometimes.
Yeah. I think it looks fine just the way it is.
Thanks. I need to get trimmed.
I mean, that's a piece of what I do.
Okay.
So getting into relationships and that kind of stuff, and I just think that you guys are making things difficult on yourselves.
100% we are.
Just making things more and more challenging.
Making it super hard.
But I think we could say that of a lot of things.
How about this? There's it's like a popular, I guess it's a rule that females have now. It's called the 666 rule. So you have to be 6 feet tall. You have to make six figures and have a 6-inch dick. So what are your thoughts on that rule?
Well, 6 figures ain't a lot of money anymore.
Yeah. Well, technically those three statistics is less than 1% of men statistically on Earth.
6 figures is not a lot of money anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
Is that really important?
I don't know. It eliminates me.
Here's what I'm going to say is that, with that kind of mentality, you're setting yourself up to lose.
Yeah.
Because it's what you're talking about is it's a complete and total. My second thing is so that's your standard. What's my standard now?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is men aren't allowed to have standards.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not?
No. Feminism.
What is feminism?
Well, it's something different now. Okay. At the base, it's one of those things where like at the base, like you're like, yeah, I'm a feminist. Like I believe in equality.
Okay, I would say that.
But like now it's become this like thing where it's not that. Like I don't even know. Like I don't think anybody. I think everybody has a different understanding of what it is now.
Do they just kind of make up the rules as they go along?
Yeah. It's like, cause it's like a lot of, like a lot of what it is now is based off of like gender roles and like expectations, but it's like, what are you talking about? Like they're talking about like, oh, everybody wants me to look like this model and this, and it's like, no, we don't. We just don't want you to be like fucking 200 pounds.
Okay, so
Like, it's just like, don't eat 3,000 calories a day and go to the gym 3 times a week and you're good. Like, eat normal portions and go to the gym 3 times a week or go on a walk.
5 days a week. 4
It's
days,
it's
whatever
the like
whatever works.
it isn't crazy high expectations, and I don't know where this like, and like the gender roles, I don't know why like all of a sudden we have to have quotas for how many female engineers there are.
But do you see how we put women in charge?
Yeah,
We've said you're the boss.
That's
you
what
get to
it-
make
that's
the
what it
decision,
is.
You get to make the choice, and we have to follow.
Yeah.
We're gonna go left 60%. You're only going 5.
yeah,
Okay, we have to fit a standard you don't.
yeah,
If that's what's really going on, you're setting yourself up to lose because we'll go back to marriage. What's the goal in getting married? What's the purpose of it? What's the point?
I mean, yeah,
To spend
To
your life
have
with.
kids.
To me, it's my best friend. It's a person I want to spend the majority of my time, and not my entire life with. I have my own life. My wife has her own life. But it's someone I want to spend the most of my time with. It's someone I enjoy. It's someone I want to be with. And I would imagine for me, it was have kids. It was raise a family. Those were things that were important to me, things I wanted. But it was to have someone that I could spend my life with that I really enjoyed being with.
yeah,
Okay, and that meant longevity. Okay, so when I was at year 16, like I said, and I was looking at I had divorce papers in my hand, it literally became unacceptable to me. And in some part of my mind, I figured out a way to make it work. Okay, and through my work, I developed stuff. And by the way, I use those techniques to support other people now, because if they worked for me, I think they can work for other people. But I think it's longevity. Okay, but if I'm going 6, 6, and 6. Those are not things that last. Those are not things that go longevity.
yeah,
Okay, so a 6-inch dick. Well, you're shooting low.
yeah,
6 figures. You're shooting. Okay, well, 6 figures can go up to 999,000, I guess. So okay, I guess we can do that. Okay, but those are all the time. Appearance, physical appearance. There's this thing called gravity.
yeah.
Now, I honestly don't know how tall I am right now, but I know at one time in my life I was 6'3". I think I'm 57 years old. I'm getting up there, and gravity's pulling down on my spine. I'm getting shorter. Am I going to be 5'5"? No.
Yeah.
No, that's not going to happen. My hair is getting thinner. Stuff like that happens. So what do you do then if that was your standard?
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like that's really where, I guess, where everything we've talked about, the feminism, the age thing, all that stuff, the dating world, all comes like full circle. Is like guys peak later than females. I would say almost objectively. Like,
Well, that's used to be the other way. Men peaked, physically men peaked younger. Women peaked later.
okay.
Sexual drive
Oh, okay.
was always considered that. So now you're saying men.
I'm saying like a female's probably going to look her best from the age of 20 to 28, 29.
Guys get better looking as they get older. Girls get
Some do, some don't. But like for the most part, if you're a guy, money's going to be a big thing. Money and power. And then, I mean, you're not going to, as guys get older, they age much better, I would say. Yeah. Not to say that there's not attractive older ladies.
Does this suck for guys? I mean, like, come on. It's
Cause I'm at a point now where a lot of my like girlfriends or, girls that I know, whatever, that did this whole like sexual revolution. I'm going to sleep with as many dudes and not date seriously. And like, I'm going to wait, and live my life. Like now it's getting to, you're in your 30s almost, or you are in your 30s, and it's kind of getting sad. And like now guys are getting older too. So the guys that you would usually get are now going for the girls in that 23 to 28 age range who are just more attractive and, haven't
so the older
been
guys
around the block
are
for a
shopping out of
decade.
your supermarket.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So like,
Girls are up to that because they got money.
yeah. And then it comes back to the feminism thing where it's like, oh, well, you're judging us based on our like now it's our age or our weight, or it's like as you get older, you usually get heavier.
Okay, but let's be clear. Everybody's judging everybody.
Yeah.
All the time. So if I say, hey, Kohler, your hair looks great today, that's my judgment of how I feel your hair looks today.
Yeah.
Okay, so it can be a positive judgment or negative. We're always judging.
Mm-hmm.
And let's face it, that if we just go with the simple what is, so take our feelings off of it, take our emotions off of it.
Yeah.
Let's just take a look at what is. Some women are short, some women are tall. Some women have bigger boobs, some women have less. Some guys have a 6-inch dick, some guys have a 10-inch dick. Okay, some guys have a...
Good for you.
Whatever.
If you do.
Okay, whatever. Okay, whatever it is. But it's what I'm hearing is feminism, and I'm probably going to hate myself for saying this, but what I hear a lot of these women are in is they don't want to be equal, they want to be special.
Yes, special. Entitled is kind of a way to put it.
I deserve this.
Yeah, and it's like, it's kind of a joke I make with some of my more attractive friends that sleep around, guy friends, as I'm like, you just ruined that whole girl's life. Not because like you slept with her, but because you slept with her. Now she thinks that every guy that's going to sleep with her looks like you. Mm-hmm. And like, and sadly, that's not the case. So like, I don't know. I feel like it's just a standard thing. And the fact that a good percentage of girls are sleeping with a small percentage of guys is really a huge narrowing.
So we're talking about this like it's almost an absolute.
I mean, statistically.
Okay, so are there women out there that don't think this way?
Probably, yeah. Well, like, yes, there are. You can say that.
So where do we find those?
I don't know, man.
Okay, so I go back to old school.
Message board, Reddit.
So if it worked before, it'll work again, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe the answer here is guys, let those girls have their Twitter. Let them have the dating apps and all their stuff and their, was it Tinder?
Yeah.
I actually married a couple. I'm a practitioner, so I married a couple who met on Tinder.
I married a couple that met on Bumble. Yeah. The only wedding I've ever done.
It can work.
Yeah.
It can work. Okay.
100%.
All right.
100%.
But your odds are greatly. So
yeah, I mean, I'm off of all that shit.
Maybe what you do is let them have it.
Yeah.
And so while they're out looking at that, you're searching for the one that doesn't think that way.
Yeah. 100%. And I'm off of all that. And again, that kind of goes to where I'm like, if I become successful in what I want to do, it'll manifest itself at some point.
So, just being clear, it's like talking about feminism. These are touchy topics.
Yeah.
Especially for me.
Oh, yeah.
In my business, this is voodoo.
Yeah, I'm not making friends right now.
Well, it's not a matter of making friends.
No, I know. I get it.
Talking about and, viewpoints and all that stuff. It's, I love women. I think they're amazing.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And they're powerful and when they want to be. And then but I think we can look into the male world and we can find assholes and dicks everywhere. We can look in the female world and find assholes and dicks everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
The question is where do we find most of those people?
Yeah.
Nightclubs, bars, places like that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do you find the good ones?
You're trying to trick me into saying like church and like the
that.
park. You go for a.
Church ain't your thing. It's all good. But where do you find them? You're not going to find them typically in bars. You're not going to find them on Tinder. That's a shot in the dark.
Yeah.
So where do we find them? I say.
Is there an answer?
Go back to the old system.
The referrals, yeah, and that's what I mostly have worked off of.
And it worked.
Because
at least getting laid.
Oh, yeah. It's
common ground, common interests. What do you like to do? Hang out with people who like to do those things. So if you're a hiker,
I do hike.
You engage with a hiking club. Now you find someone's got a similar interest. You start to know. You spend more time with them.
Yeah. That's a big issue of mine, is because I'm very much a dude. Like I'm a sports and gambling, and
a lot of hot girls that love sports.
I know, and I know, but they're a dime a dozen. There's not. I've actually become confused on that saying. I was told that I was wrong with how I was using it. Dime a dozen means they're rare, or not that they're not rare.
No, it means they're not rare.
Not rare.
They're cheap. They're easy to find.
Easy to find. Okay, see, I've been using that wrong my whole life. I also just figured out that a jar is not Spanish for open. It's just another English word that means.
The door's ajar.
Yeah, I thought it was Spanish. I thought it was Spanish for the door is open. That's I thought my car was in Spanish. But then I was like, but it says door, so maybe it's like maybe it's Spanglish. I don't know. It's something that I just learned as a 29-year-old man.
Awesome.
Yeah.
A very intelligent 29-year-old man.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So the relationship thing is I think the truth is it's always been kind of a minefield.
Yeah.
It really is, and there's so much understanding yourself to be healthy in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's when somebody's taking shots at you and they don't land, that's because you're not buying it.
Yeah.
But if something's landing, if you're I'm here in town, and the reason I'm here is I'm working with a couple on some challenges and stuff that they're having, and it's a process that I developed. Like I said, I get it, and I'm listening to some of the things the hangups in the relationship, and to me they're remedial. Now it's not anything I haven't heard. It's not even anything I haven't experienced. It's just something that I've grown past, and I'm going to say you want to attract a great woman. You want to be a great woman. Make yourself great.
There you go.
Be cool with who you are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what they think.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like someone calls me a cracker. I don't care. If someone told me I was a crappy father, I'd laugh at them.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't land. It's not true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that. So when people are doing stuff like that and you start to take it personal and all those things, now you know that those are your hang-ups, not theirs.
Yeah.
So does 666 bother me? No. Why? Because I'm over 6 feet tall. I make more than six figures. And yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing okay.
Hey. Good for you,
I don't have
man.
any complaints.
Good for you.
At least none I know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
and
good.
my thing is if you had a complaint and didn't say anything about it, that's on you.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is I never liked playing games.
Yeah, neither do I, man.
I never dug on that. It's like, if you want something, tell me what it is.
Mm-hmm.
If you need something, tell me.
Yeah.
Communication is so key. And I think it's got to be like guesswork out there.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
That's always been a big issue with me. I'm just like, it's like that scene in The Notebook where Ryan Gosling's like, what do you want?
Right.
And she's just crying. And he's like, what do you want?
Yeah, just tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can have it. Just tell me.
Yeah.
So it's be good with you.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that's what I was saying.
And here's the thing, a guy that's good with himself, I'm going to tell you this. Have you ever seen the hot girl walking down the street with a guy that's mediocre?
Yeah.
It has happened.
Yeah, those happen.
Why? And I'm going to say something else about hot girls. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You ever notice hot girls that they're like pissy or they're mean? You ever met those girls?
A lot of them, yeah.
Okay.
A lot, especially mean to me.
So let's give them a little bit of credit, okay? Every single guy in the bar is hitting on them.
Yeah.
Okay, and what does every single guy in the bar want?
Yeah, same thing.
He wants to fuck them.
Yeah.
Okay, he wants to have sex.
And I get where that's annoying.
And so can you
I
imagine
get it.
being in that place and everybody's coming up to you, hitting up, buying you drinks and doing all that
Mm-hmm.
stuff and running their agenda on you all the time?
Yeah.
So I would say the meanness is trying to, create distance between those people and themselves. So, you got a guy who's a little more humble, doesn't look that, but he's confident. He knows who he is.
Yeah.
And he approaches her from a place that he's actually interested. And that energy's present.
Mm-hmm.
So is it such a woman problem or is it as much a guy problem as it is a woman?
Yeah, and that's...
because how many of the mediocre girls are guys walking up to and saying, hey, let me buy you a drink?
Yeah. I mean, that doesn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can't put it all on feminine.
No, and I agree.
Yeah.
And let's...
And the other one, by the way, guys, grow a set of balls.
Yeah. I agree because it's very much, and this is where this show goes to every single time I start talking, is I feel like it's so much of just like meet somewhere in the middle, because you have that feminist, like, guys should, like what you're saying, like the blanking on what were we talking at the beginning, the Mr. Right, Mr. Right and Mrs. Always Right. What were you saying that is?
You lost me.
When you're saying like guys are just do whatever their wives do.
Oh, happy wife, happy
Happy wife, happy. I don't know why I couldn't think of that one term.
Yeah.
So like we need to meet somewhere between like happy wife, happy life, and then like that other extreme where guys are going, which I also think is ridiculous, which is like the Andrew Tate, like that kind of.
Whoever Andrew Tate is.
Oh, he's very popular on the internet. Yeah, you would love him. So he actually just got arrested for like sex trafficking, allegedly. And so this guy basically, he's gotten very big on the internet by just like he says, well, here's what happens. He says crazy shit. And then he like says things that kind of make sense after that. So he'll be like, well, I think that every girl should have the amount of guys that she slept with tattooed on her forehead and like just a tally mark every time she sleeps with a new one. And then he says stuff like, well, of course, because the woman's the man's property. And then like stuff like that, which you're like, okay, like lost me, like not with that. But then he'll also say things where it's like where he'll be on these shows with like a bunch of girls from Miami that like do clubbing and like he's well, what do you expect? And she's like, you know, the 6 foot, 6 feet, whatever. And they say even crazier shit like, oh, he better make $500,000 a year. Da, da, da. And he's like, well, what makes you think that you deserve that? And like he'll like go on these little rants where you're like, yeah, he's kind of right. Like this girl, like
How are you so superior?
There's nothing special about this girl. She doesn't have a job, and all she does is like fuck guys on the internet, like OnlyFans for money. And you're like, yeah, that kind of makes sense. And so there's kind of like this, like he's a little right, but he's not super right. So there's this whole movement on like the internet of these guys that are like, you know, it's kind of like that crypto douche mentality where it's like, I'm going to drive like a Bugatti and like own all this shit. And then I'm going to have all these girls and they should all sleep with me because I'm, you know, this top dog and, you know, and they should be okay with it and then be there at the end of the day when I get home. Like that kind of mentality.
It sounds, maybe this is silly, I don't know. It sounds like to me that the world isn't focused on relationship.
No.
So you kind of said it in the beginning as I'm getting to be 30, you know, I'm going to be spending the rest of my life alone, so I got to do this thing.
Yeah.
It sounds like to me that maybe it's the world you're in or what you're exposing yourself to, but it seems to me that it's more about how hot I can look, okay, what I can get,
yeah,
how much sex I can have. It's all about all of this surface bullshit that's going on.
Yeah, there's not a lot of
and it's not like anybody's really interested in relationship. Relationship just eventually happens.
Yeah.
But what we're really interested in is drinking, fucking, going on vacation, having adventures, living the life I want at someone else's expense.
Yep.
And my contribution to that is sex or blowjobs or whatever the hell it is. Okay. So his job is to have a lot of money, have a big dick, and be tall, and my job is to be
hot
and sexy and screw him a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, and you know, buy me drinks, and we're gonna go hang out in bars. And we're gonna go.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not anymore. It's like I want to meet a quality person. I want to have, you know, I want to get to know this person. I want to.
Yeah. No, I agree. 100%.
Where's the conversation? Where's the intimacy? Where is the alignment? Where is the similarities? We're not looking for that. We're looking for horny and hot and
100%.
If that's how you're trying to create relationships, you're fucked to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not.
That
good.
has nothing to do with relationships. Now, is that great? Do I love sex? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I love sex with my wife? Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I still, at 57 years old, I chase her around the house.
Yeah. Well,
I still do.
Well, I think the physical thing is like the first thing that gets knocked out, right? It's like you're not going to talk to somebody if you're not physically attracted to them, right?
But it's like a bunch of people having sex with no intimacy.
Where's
the passion?
Yeah.
Like these are the things that create great relationships.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And you guys are it's like you're running on flat tires.
Yeah. Because it's reversed now. It's you fuck a bunch of people and then like maybe you like pick one, but maybe not.
The best lay.
I guess.
The best looking.
I don't know. I've never picked, so I don't know.
Okay. Interesting. But I think maybe you're a little beyond your years.
Yeah. Well, I've come to a point where I'm very like I'm okay with who I am, and like I've kind of come to terms. I'm like, if I end up alone, I end up alone. Like I'm not gonna try and force anything. So to me, it's just like it's kind of like taking all the pressure off of it. Is just like, well, maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't. If it does, cool. If not, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing to, you know, get where I need to be.
Okay. How about it will happen when the right person walks in the room?
Sure. 100%.
So instead of it will happen or it won't happen again. So I do a lot of mindset work. Okay? So what's your mindset? It's possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anything's possible.
Anything's
All
possible.
right. So let's move off of possible and move to what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by the way, what you want and what you expect, two totally different things.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you're living out of expectation, you're going to be highly disappointed.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And you're going to be very emotionally charged.
Yeah.
But if you're living from what you want, you can create that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think we've talked about maybe what falls into place and what we see in different places and how we end up there in the the mindset and the culture of what's going on and why people get into bed so fast and do those things these days.
Mm-hmm.
And don't let me kid you. Okay. I've had my share of one night stands and I've had my share of
they're
people I didn't even know their names.
they're fun. Yeah.
They're fun for that. But
Yeah.
it's not my speed and it's not where I really went. I
Yeah.
had enough of those to know that I was ready to get married when I got married.
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah. And so I'm going to say this is, since that's the mindset, what do you really want?
Yeah.
Key, not expect, what do you want? All right. And when you get clear about that, it'll start to show up. And when the right person walks in the room, the conversation will start. I would say to people these days, man, it's hard. I know, because, dude, I love sex so much.
Yeah.
Somebody's offering it. It's kind of like, hey, you want a sandwich? Sure, I'll take one.
Yeah, why not?
I'm hungry. Why not?
Yeah.
So it's it's offered. It's there. I mean, it's kind of hard to walk away from that.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Okay, but at the same time, if it's all built on that, that's not a relationship. That's
Yeah.
sex.
Yeah.
So I just say get clear about what you really want. Get clear about who you are and how those two fit together.
Mm-hmm.
And it'll show up.
Gotcha.
Trust the process.
I got it.
And stop looking in bars and stuff like that.
Yeah. Well,
Now, can you
I've
find
stopped. Yeah, you can.
You can.
I've stopped going to bars though. I
And
don't.
by the way, church isn't always the best place to meet women either.
Yeah.
So it's it's a rocky world, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what I do is if you're one of those people and you're in one of those relationships, what I do is I help people out of that. Not to get out. Well, here's the truth. I have had help people have healthy divorces.
That's good.
Yeah, it is good. It's just because if it's not going to work, it's not going to work.
Yeah.
So why be an asshole going out the door? You chose this person.
Yeah. At some point, you gotta cut your losses. And,
Cut your losses and get out.
yeah. And I know there's some people. I don't know. There's some people that don't believe in divorces, and there's some people that like just get into relationships to get divorces. Mm-hmm. It's all scary to me.
The world has become a very interesting place.
Yeah.
And it's the more we try to protect people's feelings and the way people think and all those things, and we don't provide accountability in those situations.
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea that someone made me feel something.
Yeah.
The word triggers just drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Okay, you triggered me.
I
never studied triggers in anatomy.
A lot of the recent terminology that people uses, I hate it.
I hate it.
I hate it.
Just like, you gotta be kidding me.
Like when
I triggered you.
Triggered when people say like my truth, I'm gonna speak my truth. Mm-hmm. It's like, what is it like? There's the
so you're gonna give
truth.
us your opinion.
Yeah. There's so many of these like where you're like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
My truth.
I don't know.
Speak my truth.
There's a girl one time where I kind of like, I shouldn't have freaked out on her, but I was wasted. And it was like one of those things where like we're supposed to hang out that whole day. I drive downtown, I get my hair cut. We're supposed to hang out later in the day, and then like she's like, well, sorry. And it's a date that she asked me out on. She was like, hey, I want to take you to this place across the street from my apartment. It's pretty good. We'd gone on a few dates. And then she was like, oh, sorry, I'm kind of tired, blah, blah, blah. And like, I was just like, are you fucking kidding me? And I was wasted. I sent this long rant. And then she just replied with, your feelings are valid. And I swear to God, I don't think I've ever wanted to be more violent.
Right.
Like, I was like, if people
better say cheers.
Yeah, yeah. At least be mean about it. Your feelings are valid. I was just like, what?
That was worse.
Way worse. Way worse.
I piss off.
Yeah. I would have rather just be like, sorry, I was just wasting your time. Fuck you. I would have been like, I kind of respect that.
Why'd you go get a haircut?
Me? Yeah. Oh, I keep it trimmed.
Okay. So you were going on a date, so you got it trimmed?
It just lined up. Okay. It lines up.
You were in the place.
When I'm like going.
So it wasn't for her.
When I'm going into town. No, I never get my hair cut for somebody. Okay. When I'm going into town and like there's certain things that I need to do when I go in town. So I'm like, I gotta get a haircut. And so like when I do that, I gotta leave an hour early to get my hair cut. It's an hour drive. You get there, then all of a sudden she's like, no. And you're like, I just drove a fucking hour for a haircut. And that'll really piss you off. But yeah, so yeah, that's modern dating.
Now, here's what I'll also say is that's part of the dating world.
Yeah. I get it.
I think it probably seems more relevant now, but I mean, there's a lot of things that,
Yeah, I get, and I'm sure that I've done things where it's pissed.
Yeah. How many girls said yes because they didn't want to say no?
Yeah.
Like they didn't know how to say no.
Yeah.
They felt bad.
Yeah, and I don't have an issue with somebody saying that. I especially don't have an issue with somebody canceling plans. It's like when it's like 30 minutes before, right. That's what does it. Shit. Yeah. But like, and I'm sure, like, I know that I've done things where it wasn't the coolest thing for me to do.
We all do.
And yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
So what's the answer?
The answer to what? The solution to the
world, the dating Grand Canyon.
I don't. That's what makes it so much fun. Is like there's no answer. Like I don't think there's an answer. And I think legitimately it just comes easier to some people than others. Like I know I have friends that are in great relationships that are married and it's just like they've been dating this girl since they were 20 years old and like it's 8 to 10 years later now and everything just works out. I know friends that were like, I'm never dating again. And then 3 months later, they're like, hey, I'm engaged. And I'm like, whoa, okay. Yeah. And it works great. And then there's like other people who are like just serial daters that will just date whoever. There's people that like just will date people because they're hot.
Is there a pressure?
What do you mean?
Like, is there a cultural pressure?
I don't think so. Like I think a lot of it is just people I hang out with are just in their own head. But that's a completely separate issue. I don't know. I don't think that there's like a right path. Like I think it's just like me. It's just who I was before. Like I never took it seriously. I fucked around. I've always been the silly guy. I've always been the party guy. And I've never taken anything like that seriously until recently. Right. So like, of course I'm going to be behind. It's just like if somebody was in like finance or whatever and didn't take that seriously and then they all of a sudden want to be a finance guy at 30. It's like, okay, well, you got to start at the beginning now. Okay. So it just hasn't happened.
So
it just
I'm going to give you the old guy
hasn't happened.
Coach.
Okay.
Advice.
I'm out of water.
Okay. So you feel all that. I would say the first thing is you've done pretty much what everybody does.
Yeah.
And that is you go out and you date and you do what you do.
Yeah. I'm a late bloomer.
Sometimes that turns into getting laid, and sometimes that turns into going to dinner, and sometimes that turns into canceled plans. That's dating. But I would say, based on where you're at, you're really clear about what you don't want. Get clear about what you do want.
Yeah.
Okay, and then find places where you can find what you want. Okay, and that's to me that's the easiest thing. I think also when we get clear about what we want, that walks in. That shows up. The more we put it out there, the more the opportunity for it to come back. And here's the other thing: the more we're clear, the more we communicate that.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're in conversation with you're at the bar with some girl, you're not talking about her clothes because who cares?
Yeah.
You're talking about what really matters. And how many people out there are really having a conversation that matters?
Mm-hmm.
Even podcasts, you talk about the guy who's got all these girls on there. What's he talking about? Is he really talking about anything that matters, or is he talking about what some stupid girl thinks she wants in a relationship?
Yeah, not really.
Well, not really, right?
Yeah.
So it's like filter through the trash, man. It's not even worth talking to some of this stuff.
Yeah. I find some of it interesting.
And get in the game. So now you've decided that the game could be different for you. So now you got to get in the game. Because you can sit on the bench and carry water all day long, man, or do you want to play the game?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if you do want to have somebody special in your life, you do have to take that risk.
Yeah.
And you do have to, and it's, I think the other thing you say, like I got a friend who said, he's off dating and then 3 months later he's engaged. Can that happen? Sure.
Yeah.
Okay, but how many people go from one relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship to the next relationship? And it's always, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one, this is the one. And by the way, I see people do that. Even people my age do that.
Thank God I don't have a lot of friends like that.
Yeah, it's just, there's all of this stuff that goes on, but at the end of the day, I think when you get clear about what you want, it's easier to find it.
Mm-hmm.
If you want cheeseburger, it's easier to find a cheeseburger than it is, But if you're just out there, I don't know, you're passing places. It's all over the place.
Yeah. Fuck, I just had a question I was going to ask you too, and I just totally it was in there, and then it just Skip the beat. Fuck. Okay. So other than relationship counseling, I also do business stuff.
I do a lot of business coaching. I help
Like-
companies take their. We work a lot with corporate culture.
Uh-huh.
A lot of companies.
Oh, you know what it is? No, fuck it.
Back.
Okay. So you were talking about what you talk about with people at bars. One of my favorite moves is kind of like just irrelevant to everything, but it's just something that I do. One of my favorite moves is I will pick out like the most attractive girl at the bar, like talk to one of her friends or something, and then if she tries to like talk, I'll just be mean to her for no reason. If she deserves it. If she deserves it, I'll just if she's like one of those girls where you like can tell that they're like hot and they know that they're hot. There was one time downtown here where me and my friend, we were just it was on Rainy Street in Austin, and we're just down there because he lived down there, and we're just at a random bar, and we're just sitting there, and these two girls are really attractive, probably like 22, fresh out of college, super hot girls. They ended up being like, they were like Missouri cheerleaders, University of Missouri cheerleaders. And we go up and we start talking to these girls. And this girl was just, my friend goes, "What's your name?" And she's like, "Hi, I'm Sarah. And this is Kara." And I was like, in that exact voice, I was like, "Oh my God, you're Sarah and Kara?" And these girls, the look, like you just like saw the smile on, like it's kind of disgusting, but I just love looking and seeing just like that hope leave somebody's face where they're like, this is a great conversation. And then you just say one thing and they know like this is not going to be good.
Okay.
And I don't, sometimes it actually does work with more attractive people that are like usually Midwestern people. They just have a better sense of humor. And they'll think it's funny. So it does actually work. It does actually work. But I'm just saying it's something that I thought was funny that I sometimes do.
Okay.
That also might prove I have Asperger's. It's possible.
It would answer a lot of questions.
Yeah. Self-diagnosed.
Okay, so I got something to add. Okay, something that's popped into my mind, and that is all these women, not all these women, but these women who, the 6'6" and 6 women.
Yeah.
Okay. Do they think they're the only ones that have those standards? And my question, so the girls that are, you keep talking about hot girls.
I don't think they think about it.
I'm going to put this out to the hot women out there.
They're not listening.
They're
not listening.
Okay, so the hot women out there, my question, okay, guys, think about this, is that what kind of a relationship you think you're going to attract?
Yeah.
The only thing you're doing is presenting yourself as a piece of meat.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
What kind of standard are you setting? What kind of guy are you really attracting? Are you attracting a guy who's really going to love you for the rest of your life?
Well, the truth is,
a guy who's really interested in sharing his wealth and all those things with you. He's not. He's got all of those things, and he's going to use them to get what he wants.
Yeah, the truth is,
and then you're going to be left sitting by the side of
the truth is they're the same, like they're going to be the same girl that's like, all men are pigs, all men are trash. And it's like, well, yeah, you're picking that guy. Obviously, he's going to be trash.
Like, when the only thing that matters is your hair, your lips,
right?
What clothes you're wearing and what kind of cologne you got on.
Like those girls that are like, I'll only fuck professional athletes. It's like, no shit, he's going to cheat on you. Yeah. He has like a different person in every city.
You're a whore.
Yeah.
I'm only going to fuck a professional. Well, wow.
Yeah.
You would have had more points if you said, I'm only willing to date professional athletes.
Mm-hmm.
But what's your goal? Okay, so the only thing that's attracting that guy is your pussy.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying is that, I deserve this guy, and the reason I deserve it is because of my pussy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Let me tell you what happens to it. That might work for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay? But eventually, and by the way, just so you know, I'm old enough to see women who acted like this in my day and age. Women who, and I got one specifically in my mind. Okay, and as she's getting old, you said it earlier, men get better looking, and women will even say this, men get better looking, women get less looking. You're shopping yourself out of the market.
Yeah.
Okay, you literally are with this attitude, because eventually gravity is going to take hold. And okay, you got a ton of silicone in your boobs, so maybe that's not going anywhere. But your ass is going to sag. Oh, what are you going to do? Shove that full of silicone too? Probably.
Never been a big fake boob guy.
Yeah. I personally, I'm just happy to be invited to
Beggars can't be choosers at a certain point. But if I could pick.
I never understood guys who got hung up with she doesn't swallow. I'm like, what? I don't care what she does with it when I'm done with it.
Yeah. No, I don't. No.
I'm just glad to be at the party, but yeah. So that kind of stuff, but it's I don't know, it's just this vanity thing, and as an old man, you see it, and I've seen these women who are now alone.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Is like there's gonna be like, I'm not gonna say an epidemic, but there's gonna be a lot upcoming.
Yeah, and now all of a sudden you're gonna want to swipe left.
Yeah, and that's gonna be tough. But then that also feeds back into like, then they're gonna think all men are douchebags and pigs, and you're like, well. You had your chance. Yeah. Now you have to settle for the guy that was jerking off in the movie theater. Right. Yeah. Or worse. Yeah. God knows there's worse.
You're in the single wide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. I don't know.
Cool. So there wasn't a question in there. It was more of a statement.
It was more just like you were talking about it, and I've always thought it was a funny thing I do. Some people probably don't think that. Which is fine. It's reasonable.
You're not going to find healthy food on the inside aisles of the grocery store.
What do you mean?
If you notice in a grocery store, all the healthy food is on the outside.
Yeah.
Okay. So the vegetables, all that stuff's all on the outside. All the garbage is on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're not going to find healthy food in the inside of the grocery store.
Okay. I still don't know what this reference is.
You're not going to find the right woman, a quality woman, shopping in bars.
Okay.
And on Tinder and shit like that. Can you? Yes, but your odds are so drastically reduced.
Yeah.
So why are you spending 90% of your shopping time? If you're looking for healthy, why are you spending it in an unhealthy place?
Yeah.
And it's just, you know what it is? It's literally stupidity. If you think about it, it's ignorance.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of dumb people.
But there's an illusion that the numbers are there, so that's where there's more people there. Well, maybe you need to go somewhere where there's not those numbers.
Yeah.
Be more selective.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing too, have some self-respect.
Mm-hmm.
Self-esteem.
Yeah.
Yeah. What really drives your behavior? What drives you to a woman like that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And hey, here's the deal: if you're just horned up and you're ready to knock a piece off, right on, do it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's never been my thing, but
by the way, I coach guys all the time who want to play the field, like they've been divorced and they want to play the field, and I tell them, like they don't want to be nailed down, they don't want to date, they don't just want to go out and sleep with a bunch of women.
I kind of think that's the way it should go for dudes. Like, I think every dude probably should play the field a little bit. I know guys can do it to different.
There is an argument to be made that men were not built for monogamy.
Yeah.
There's an argument for that.
There is. I'm not. I'm not on that.
Yeah, dude, I don't do that. I'm not a cheater. So
I'm not on that. I'm a single guy, and I'm not on that.
Right. But there is an argument that says, you look at all the other male creatures in the animal kingdom.
Yeah.
Are they monogamous?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I get it. We're not monkeys. But at the same time, there's an argument for it. Mm-hmm. So, I coach these guys, and this is the only thing I say. Be respectful.
Yeah.
If that's you tell them that's what it is. I'm not looking to date someone. I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to go roll around and have some fun, I'm in. But if you want me to call you tomorrow, I'm not.
Yeah, be straightforward.
Be straightforward. Be honest about it.
That's one thing I have always done.
Right on.
Yeah. To a fault.
Yeah, don't fuck with people.
To a fault.
It's not cool. It's not cool to jerk someone around. Because how many of these guys out there with a lot of money, with the standard, how many of those guys are really giving them what they want?
Yeah.
Are they? I'll say to them, you're on the inside of the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to find something healthy based on a paycheck and 2 physical characteristics.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
That's crazy.
You're right.
So if there's any ladies listening,
There's not. There's not.
And how about instead of, if you're really talking about equality, how about we talk about harmony instead?
Like,
okay, we want equality, men and women being equal. Okay? This is going to sound really bad. Okay, so I'm gonna drive something else right now. There was a time in our country when women were not allowed to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Did women create their right to vote?
I'm not a historian. I don't. Okay. I know there was the suffrage.
How did women ultimately get the right to vote and other rights that they have that they didn't have before.
I don't.
It's a fact. So
Okay.
take all the emotion off of it. The truth is that men had to say it was okay. It was a men-driven system. Women had no voice whatsoever. So for women to have a voice, men had to allow that voice, that environment.
Yeah, that was 1919, right?
It goes back a ways.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm telling you, that's what happened. Okay, in order for women to get the rights that they have today, men had to agree with it.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Okay, so not all men are douchebags.
Yeah.
Back then. Okay, so if you're setting these stupid standards to find love and find intimacy and find relationship, you're never going to get there. Okay, so say I marry a guy who's got no job. How about working together to build a career?
Yeah.
See, that's intimacy. That's relationship.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
It's
good.
It's crazy to me the stuff that goes on. I mean, I watch married people and the things they do.
Yeah.
You know, and guilty, by the way. We all do stupid shit. You know, the stuff I've done in my relationship where I just kind of go like, you say something and you just go, oh my God, why did I say that? It just,
Yeah.
You know, but also having compassion.
Those are my favorite.
What's that?
Those are my favorite, like on the dating shows when guys say things where you're like, why did you say that? Why would, like, what made you think that was a good idea?
Why did you just say, I don't want to date you?
Yeah.
Dating shows.
Yeah. I love those.
So here's a question. So all the electronics,
Mm-hmm.
the dating services,
Mm-hmm.
shows now.
Yeah.
Are we just putting way too much attention on this? Are we making this way bigger than
Yeah, well, the thing with shows are like it's entertainment.
It's entertainment.
So people are doing it because it's fun to watch, and like it is fun to watch somebody's like life just fall apart. It's hilarious. Well, they do it to themselves.
I got it.
They do it to themselves.
I find that painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean sometimes, but most of the times it's funny.
It's pathetic sometimes.
Yeah, well, every time it's pathetic, but you know.
And yeah, that's me. Is this thing? I don't like to watch shows where people are in hospitals screaming. You know, I don't.
Yeah, so I don't watch
find
those
people
shows.
entertaining. I just never
I don't
have.
watch those shows.
Right. But watching somebody.
Sheesh.
I mean, I can see a guy in a dating show saying something stupid and you laughing about it.
Yeah, like okay, so there's this show Love is Blind. I love this example. There's a show Love is Blind on Netflix where basically they take like 20 guys, 20 girls, put them in, they lock them in this like whatever house, whatever it is, and they go on these dates, but like there's a wall in between them. So they go into these pods and they go on these dates without actually seeing each other and just talking to each other, and everybody's dating everybody. And then like some people propose in like this 6-day, 7-day span. And then after you propose, then you meet them, then you go on like a honeymoon type thing, and then you live together for a month, and then you go to your wedding, and then at the wedding you either say I do or I don't. And then on this last season, there was this huge thing because obviously people are doing this now because you can get pretty famous doing these stupid shows. And so it kind of was, it kind of becomes like, are people there for the right reasons to actually like get married, or are they there to be on the show? And there was this one guy, his name's Cole, and he's dating this girl, or I guess they're engaged at this point. And they're like, at one point they're in an argument, and this guy was like 25 years old, should not have been on this show. He was like 25, she was like 31. And like something I'll say about age is there's a reason you're 31 and single. And anyways, she's like kind of like nagging him about everything, about like the way he was cooking the chicken, the way he was like salting it and peppering it. And like, he just goes, are you bipolar? Like straight up. I'm just like, why would you say that? And he just like starts going on this thing. But anyways, it kept going, and like it got to this huge performative finish where like this guy said so many dumb things. But like at the end of the day, he wasn't doing anything technically wrong. Like he was just kind of stupid. And at the end of the day, she gets to this wedding, and like the part that I find the funniest is they actually have like a wedding with all their friends and family in there for this wedding planned in a month. And everybody's sitting there and she goes up and she gives this huge heartfelt speech and then is like, I'm standing up for myself. I don't. And like walks away and all her friends are like clapping. You're like, you clearly did that for this show. And then there's like a reunion show and all this stuff comes up and like it ends up, she's like lying about all this stuff she said about this guy. And yeah, that's like another level to this is like, it's like, I don't know. There's different people have different intentions.
Relationships a circus.
Yeah.
And then we're wondering why it's a circus.
But yeah, I loved every minute of it. I couldn't get enough of it.
All right. Entertainment value.
It was great.
Right.
Yeah.
And why do we say stupid stuff? We all say stupid stuff in the heat of battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're called daggers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you throw daggers at people to get people away from you.
Yeah.
So it's,
It happens.
yeah, I look at it I say to my wife all the time, God, I hope nothing ever happens to you because I can't even begin to imagine dating these days. In fact, I probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how you find anything these days other than go places where that stuff isn't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't find lettuce in the inside of the grocery store.
Yeah.
So if I want lettuce, I go where lettuce is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So find healthier places to shop for what you're looking for. And, you say, there's a reason why you're 31 and not married. I think people get married later these days.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm personally glad I got married younger. I was ready to get married. I know that. I didn't play the normal thing that most guys do. I didn't just get married because it was the thing to do. I got married because I was ready to get married. I was done with dating. I dated a lot, and I'd done all that stuff. And I had girlfriends, and I even had a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't marry her mother, so that was interesting. But I was ready to do it. And I tell people all the time, I'm really glad I got married early. I had kids early. And the reason is because now I have my life. And I'm still young enough where I've got cash in my pocket. I've got, more liberty in my life. I can go do the things I want to do. My kids are grown and they're healthy and they're all successful and doing great. That's something I'm really proud of. Raising kids. Because that's another thing I freak out about is these people get married and then they start having kids. Who's raising these kids,
Yeah.
Because this mentality of you got into a relationship on six figures and you're going to raise a kid.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's
What
a
is
different
your
issue.
thought process? What is your mentality? So now we're just breeding
Yeah.
idiots.
Yeah. And like probably not taking care of the kids that well.
No.
These are probably like going to grow up to be awful humans.
Well, if you're raised by an awful human, you're
Yeah.
going to be an awful
Yeah.
human, more than likely.
More likely, yeah.
You might be able to change that, but I also know people who were great who raised kids who turned out to be awful. So anything can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
The truth is with raising kids, you want to get into that. There's so much outside influence in a kid's life these days. Parenting is you almost have to be intrusive to parent kids these days.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have any kind of expertise on that.
No. You don't have much expertise on relationships.
I don't know. I think I might have something.
You've dated a few.
Kids. I make joke. One of my friends is a football coach. And I'm like, is that kid like 11? Is he 15? I can't tell. So I don't know with kids. I really have no clue. Like when they talk to me, I'm just like, I don't know what to do.
Kids?
So yeah, I literally have no clue when it comes to kids.
Talk to them like you talk to me.
I do, but it's also like,
Yeah. Take out the language.
Yeah.
Do that stuff.
Yeah, I try to do that.
Yeah, I usually do really well, especially with younger people and stuff like that, because I don't treat them any different than I would anyone else. Now, a kid, I'm not going to sit and have an intellectual concept, space-time continuum, all that stuff with a kid, but, it's pretty easy. Did you go to Disneyland this year? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess I'm just not interested.
You're not interested?
Yeah.
Not your thing now.
Yeah.
Right on.
Stupid kids. Anything else? We're at an hour and 23 minutes right now. You're good?
Yeah.
It was a good episode.
That's fun.
I would say I want to say it's one of my better episodes. I'm going to listen back to it and probably be like, ooh. But
Feel free to edit.
I don't edit usually. Yeah. But
Cool.
we'll see. I don't think we said anything that bad.
I don't think we said anything bad at all. There's a lot of facts out there, and it doesn't matter what we say. People are going to find offense with it, and some people are going to dig it.
Yeah.
That's people's judgment.
Yeah.
So if we're going to run around and shape our communication around what other people think about us, we're going to have a really rough time.
Yeah. I agree. All right. Well, thanks for coming on. Yeah. Thanks for coming on. It was great. Let's go get dinner. Also, I got to pee.
Awesome.
All right. Thanks.